You are listening to Single Smart Female, Romantic Fairy Godmama Edition.
Today's show is brought to you by thelovesickcure.com. Does your love life suck because you can't move on from the idea of him? Does every man you meet pale in comparison to the way he made you feel? It's okay, lady love. We 100% understand and have been there before. Whether you'd like the opportunity to get him back or to completely move on, we know this only happens when you cure your heartbreak and love sickness. Let us help you do that today at thelovesickcure.com.
Hey, Jen.
Hi, Jen.
How are you today?
I am swell. How are you?
I am lovely. I'm feeling great. I want to talk to you today about something that's a big deal to me and talk to the ladies too.
Okay. Well,
Want to talk about it?
yep. Do you want me to say it?
Sure.
All right. I'm going to do it in my very dramatic voice.
Do it.
He disappeared. Was it something you did or universal protection?
I don't know where that came from.
I don't either.
But it was cute. I think I have a cute cry. Actually, I do not have a cute cry face. I have a very ugly cry face. She's
You
thinking
cry
back.
all the time.
I
though.
know. It's not cute.
Why would you think it's not cute?
I don't know.
All right. We're going to have to do a session with Jen here. It's just a second. She's got an adorable cry face.
I cry all the time. It is true.
I found my kiddo crying one time looking at herself in the mirror, trying to assess her cry face.
That's awesome.
It was pretty cute.
Taking cry selfies.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Not cry selfies, but I would have drawn the line there.
That would have been funny, though. That would have been hilarious. No. So, yeah, this is, I think, something that a lot of us dating ladies think about. You and I talk a lot on here about that it's universal protection, that, you know, this guy is no longer in your life.
Mhm.
Like, the universe is protecting you. But I know, because I've been in this position, that it runs in your head and you say, well, this is another one who's gone. This is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Is it something about me? Is it something that I do? Do I do something odd that men
Provokes
don't like?
this. Mm-hmm.
Do I chew with my mouth open and all disgusting like and that grosses?
You do quite a bit.
No, I don't. I don't at all. Now I know she's full of it. But anyway, you know, do I I don't know, do I have bad breath? Do I stink? Or do I whatever it may be,
Mm-hmm.
you know, do I turn guys off? Is it me or is it the universe?
So what's your answer?
It's so good. That question right there. You know, I think that there are occasions where we might have some things that we do
Mm-hmm.
that can turn a guy off. And I think that there's times where these guys aren't the right guys and they're being moved to the side. But I guess what my thought is that, and I just kind of want your opinion too, is that if they were your right guys, then this wouldn't be happening.
Okay, so this is one of those gray areas. And you have to take a deep breath. That's the first piece of this, because this is a very hard thing. So ultimately, everything in our life is universal protection. But at the same time, it is when you're stuck in your own patterns and when you're stuck in your own insecurities and when you're stuck in your own victim place of being a victim, especially in dating and things, you can keep hitting the same thing over and over again. And yes, that energy can be very not seductive to a man, and you can push a man away. Now, if you're willing to stand in who you really are, own pieces of you, even if you're not 100% secure all the time, if you're willing to create space between you and that man, then, and if he doesn't come around, that's definitely universal protection.
Right.
Does that make sense when I say
Yes.
that?
Mm-hmm.
And this, it's very, again, it's a very gray area, and it's more, I can tell when I'm talking to a woman based on her situation. By the way, ladies, I have women write me all the time expecting me to give them personal advice based on a paragraph that they have sent to me, or sometimes multiple paragraphs. Well, first off, I love all of you ladies, but the only place that you're going to get any free advice from me is here. And then the rare occasion that I do and if this happens, if you do a free week for me, you can get some free advice from me there. But you have to understand that I have to assess what's going on in your life to assess whether or not you're being protected or you're being called to a higher standard and you need to unravel a pattern.
Yes.
That's going on with you. And sometimes that's not clearly obvious. And it's definitely not obvious within the context of a paragraph. Unless you tell me this always happens, then usually it's something going on with you that you're subconsciously pushing men away and repeating that pattern over and over again, which is usually a sign that we're not ready for a real love. That's a way we play small romantically as women.
Yes, absolutely. That makes total sense. Yeah. And God knows I've had patterns in my past that as we know, my attention is now on my romantic life, and that I've been trying to unravel different patterns. And so yeah, the question has come up. Is this my pattern? Is this me? Do I need to make a shift, or is it universal protection? But I do think there have been occasions where it wasn't something within me, but maybe an opportunity for me to change a pattern or step up. For example,
That's
remember
a
prickly nose hair guy?
long ago,
right?
In lands far, far away,
Ugh.
there was prickly nose hair guy.
Oh my gosh, this guy, nice enough guy at first, and he was a successful man. He was, decently attractive, and but he was one of those guys that he essentially told me on our second date that he did not, or maybe it was our third date.
I think it was third.
That he did not. That's right, because I went out with him on 2 dates, and you were like, you need to give him another try. Remember? And I was like, no, Jenny, has got nose hair that prickles me. But then
they're chafing. I just can't handle it.
Oh my goodness. But then
scarring me.
But then he told me that he does not do well with structured, and I'm doing air quotes here, structured people, which means that I wouldn't sleep with him on the third date. So this was not a situation that
I just thought about.
What?
Funny enough, that means he's structured too if he's doing the whole third date thing.
Yeah.
That's a structure as well that men implement sometimes.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Is that
the whole
that's a thing?
If
3 dates?
Yeah, that is a thing.
Get on with yourself.
Yeah. If they really like you, they'll bypass that. But then some of them are very much a stickler to it. And if they are, just set them free, because they're not for you.
Bye.
Not for you.
Bye. Yeah. No. It's not that.
I cut you off, but you had a point that you were drawing.
No, that's okay. But that's not your choice about when. So he said to me he doesn't do well with structured people, and that he was just way too interested in sex. I was like, I'm not even sure if I want to go out with you, and I'm not even sure if I want to kiss you at all because your nose prickles me. So I'm still trying to assess whether I even want you to touch me at all. Mm-hmm. So that, in my opinion, was universal protection versus...
Let me make it clear. You didn't say this to him, did you?
Oh, my good night. No.
Okay.
I mean, these are thoughts I had.
Okay. So,
So
yes, it ended up being universal protection.
That's universal protection for
Definitely.
Sure. Yeah.
But it is really important to note that, there are some good guys that we end up pushing away, especially when we hyper focus on them, because guys, when they haven't decided that you're the one yet, your undivided romantic attention on them the energy is off, and it's repulsive in a way, and it's energetically repulsive, even if you're not contacting them all the time. That's why I keep beating it into the ground over and over again, and I've gotten really strict with my clients. You are not going to build the habits around hyperfocus, because that's what we do. We give ourselves permission to hyperfocus by confirming the hyperfocus with our habits. over and over again, instead of just recognizing what it is and not allowing that habit to build and using our mantourage to segue into something else, or to take care of what's going on in our life, or to spend time with more girlfriends, to take some time for ourselves, to do all of those things. So yes, there are times where men actually do disappear. And a lot of times if you were super hyper focused on them, that's why.
Yeah.
That is why. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it, unfortunately, and tell you that that's definitely, I mean, it is in a way universal protection, because if you can't do anything but hyper focus, that means you need to work on yourself, because that is a level of insecurity.
Right.
Okay.
I want to share another story too.
No, I'm just kidding. Of course.
Move out of the way, girl. I'm doing this. No.
You go, girl.
So this is super simple situation, but I went to meet some friends at a brunch, and I actually was kind of feeling a little. I had a member in my mantourage who was kind of, things weren't going so hot with, and so I was maybe a little kind of, I wouldn't say blue, but just not on top of the world.
Game. Yeah.
Yeah. So I meet these friends for brunch, and there is this guy, and he attractive guy, and seems like he's got his stuff together. He's a personal trainer, but like not at the gym. He's a personal trainer at like cancer doctors send people to him to help them recover and get better. And so he seems like a successful man. And he is just checking me out like nobody's business. And then he's like, I have to leave the brunch, and then I connect back with my friends later that day. And he's like, hey, I wanted to get your number earlier. I didn't get it from you. So he got my number. And then I would say the next 2 days we text a little bit, and he started asking me for picture after picture after picture, which gets on my nerves. Like
you don't have to send guys pictures. That's a very infantile request.
Yeah. And I just find that to be,
it's not.
It turns me off. And then this is me focusing on what I want in my romantic life, and I'm not turned on by you asking me to send you 100 pictures.
That's a very, like, if you're a teenager kind of thing to do. And I'm going to say that for most women. If you have a guy that you encounter with that, and I'm going to tell you right now, that's not your best choice in men. Right.
So I shut it down, and I said, you know what? My phone quits letting me text pictures after 2 or something like that. The first thing I said to him is, why do you forget what I look like? And then I ended up sending 1 or 2 or something. And I said, my phone quits allowing me to send that many pictures. And guess what? I don't think I've ever talked to him again.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, was that a bad move on my part?
No.
And then I thought, no, that guy's not that. This is universal protection. Guess what I found out?
What?
I didn't even know this guy, I know nothing about him. But a few weeks later, I find out this guy does cocaine. This guy is not the guy that I would want to go out with. So again, that's a universal protection thing. Now, do I have patterns that are my own thing that I probably push guys away? I think I have had them, but there are times just like this where I wondered, was this me? Something that I did to push this guy away, and then come to find out, nope, I am being very protected. So,
well, as somebody who has seen how you date and who you are now, there are a few things that I would suggest you do differently at times, and you and I have talked about that on this podcast and in real life as well. And I have to say that anytime now, Jen, because it's not about doing things perfectly, ladies, all the time. None of us are going to do it perfectly. We, as secure as we become, we still have insecurities that we face, and we don't always know exactly what to do and say in the right moment. But if you just keep owning those pieces of you and keep going towards the things that are really important to you and holding your boundaries around that, even if you misstep on the boundary initially, then it is always going to be universal protection if they do disappear. And I can honestly say that you have not pushed a man away in years.
Hey, thanks. It's good to hear.
And that's something I 100% know about you. I can't say that for every woman out there. Again, I don't know all of their different situations and different scenarios, but ladies, you have a couple of options. You can come work with us, and then we can help you assess those things if they need to be assessed or addressed. Or you can just start to unravel your own patterns and be willing to do something differently. And then recognize when you are being authentic, like genuinely authentic to yourself. And by the way, this whole bullshit, ladies, and I'm calling it bullshit from now on. Okay, I'm not sugarcoating this shit anymore. If you come to me and tell me there's just nobody else in this world like him, I'm calling bullshit.
Agreed.
That's just your hyper focus. That is just you playing small romantically. There's no way around that anymore. If you are truly allowing yourself to mantourage date, meaning including men that are awesome in your dating experience, not just that one guy, then you can absolutely 100% call it universal protection. If you are hyper-focused on any level, unfortunately, the universe is protecting you from yourself. Okay, lover girl, it's time for the final thought on today's show.
If he disappeared while you were being authentically you and honoring your boundaries, consider it universal protection. If he disappeared while you were hyper-focused on him, consider it the universe asking you to step up.
Thank you, lover girl, for joining us on this romantic fairy godmama edition of Single Smart Female. Don't forget to text this episode to all of your single smart girlfriends, as well as visit us at singlesmartfemale.com.
We'll talk to you next time.
And here's to you having everything you want in life and love. Today's show is brought to you by thelovesickcure.com. Does your love life suck because you can't move on from the idea of him? Does every man you meet pale in comparison to the way he made you feel? It's okay, lady love. We 100% understand and have been there before. Whether you'd like the opportunity to get him back or to completely move on, we know this only happens when you cure your heartbreak and love sickness. Let us help you do that today at thelovesickcure.com.